If you've been following our journey, you'll know that we took a month-long break from working on our house. In that time, Jesse was trying to hammer out the necessary hours and flights required to get his private pilot's license. And the day we began working on the house again, we got a call from his instructor letting him know that an examiner would be available later in the week to give him his check ride. Naturally, we had to jump on the opportunity since examiners aren't always available on your schedule, and long story short, Jesse is now a private pilot. Preparing for the check ride took up the rest of the week. We're working on a very special video for our channel about the important, life-changing event for us, but for now, it's back to work on the house with flying to be focused on another day.
Celebrating has ended. It ended with huckleberry pancakes this morning at a fly-in where nobody flew in because of weather. #aviation. But the good news is, I'm home.
Actually, the celebration now begins because we gotta
That's true.
work on the house again uninterruptedly, so I think.
And we haven't forgotten how, I swear. We needed a day of rest yesterday though, so in all fairness, we didn't do a whole heck of a lot yesterday, even though we have equipment here. I just needed some rest. It's been a very stressful week with very little sleep. So now, where were we? I think we put in like 2.5 hours or 3 hours into getting our fascia done. And now, I think now we're ready to do fascia. One small perk to me being gone almost all week is that a bunch of the materials that we needed to truly do this job well showed up.
True.
And Alyssa got them all together. So we kind of ran around and ordered all this stuff, but a lot of it either had to come by special order or, you know, UPS or whatever. So what was going to be bad before is that we really only had the materials to start doing the fascia, but we didn't have the materials to really put the fasteners in for the fascia. I did do a few screws with the impact, but in reality we need to be using this machine gun because it's just so much more efficient. But there's a problem. So this set of screws, which you might recognize from the time we were doing the sheetrock, these are sheetrock screws. And I believe the finish on these, if you see that they're black, I think that's called an oxide finish. The problem is, that's not rated for weather exposure. And we ran out of these screws, which we had purchased, and it just was some dumb luck that they have a coating on them. The good news is we noticed, and we knew not to use these for exterior applications. Even though this will be underneath our cold roof, there's still that chance that it will be exposed to humidity. So these screws are coated with like a silver coating. And that silver coating protects them from moisture. So now we can do the job right instead of using inadequate fasteners and cutting corners. So on cue, the rain has started. That's important because the camera we're shooting this on right now just came back from the camera hospital. In fact, 2 of them did. And why were they at the camera hospital?
Corrosion.
What? I thought it was a sealed camera body.
#marketing.
Turns out these cameras are not weather sealed.
So we're gonna treat them exactly how we did before, which is do our best and try to put them away when the rain comes, but we're not gonna dive off the roof to do it.
No, we're not. They're gonna stick it out. They gotta be tough. Honestly, the one we sent off is the camera that's been with us since before the house build, and that camera has seen things that cannot be spoken of on camera. So in all fairness, it was well overdue for an update. Does that sound give you PTSD?
Not too much. I wasn't the one running it.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I wonder what Brian thinks. I bet his shoulder's kind of like a little raw after 4,000 screws. And we now have 5,000 screws for the secondary substrate and 5,000 screws for all the splines and all the lumber splines.
So something we've been trying to figure out is how to divide and conquer. Our first priority is getting all this fascia installed, but it's kind of a one-man job. So in the meantime, what should Alyssa be working on? So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be running that baby.
When we were researching equipment for this stage of the project, you want everything, right? Ask any contractor, they want every tool. There's no perfect tool. So we had a decision about whether to get a man lift or a forklift. We might have already shared this already, but we decided to go with a forklift with a man basket because it has a leveling feature, and because our property's so uneven, we need that. The man lifts are less tolerant to slopes. And we can't lift units of plywood up to the roof when we get to the secondary roof with a man lift. So it sucks because somebody has to run the forklift, and a man lift, you run it from the basket. Can't have it all. So we could just go buy everything, or we can build a house. So Alyssa gets to run the forklift, and I get to be up there like...
So I'm gonna go ahead and try to make myself busy on the ground, or at least on smaller ladders, putting in whatever screws and lags I can reach, and then also going around with some spray paint to mark the areas that need lags or screws. If you feel a little chaotic on the inside, that's kind of how we feel, like we do at the start of every new project. Almost ready to go up?
Yeah.
Bugfish. This cat the last few days has been sticking really close to home, as in wants to be inside. Alright, Bugaboo, we're gonna work on building your house, okay? Hold down the fort.
Thank you!
It's a little overkill, it's the only one we have.
I saw what you did there. You're a pretty advanced gorilla, you know that?
Oh, I'm a pretty advanced gorilla.
You just used 2 coconuts to open a walnut. You guys see that?
Forgot to tell you guys, while Jesse's doing the eaves here, he's gonna put all the screws in. Time for the SCREW-FEST.
There's a couple of OCD followers who are thanking me right now.
Oh my god, they're so happy. They can finally move on with their life.
They've been losing sleep for a month because all these screws. What'll really drive them nuts is when the wind blows, you hear this.
Oh, it's so terrible.
Yeah, like a little chorus, a little jingle goes through the house. So I love putting these screws in because you can visually see the panel getting sucked tight.
Can you really?
And the spline, like, it's so good. But it's only, of course, once the screws put in. I know a lot of people think we're putting too many screws in, but as we've mentioned in previous videos, the manufacturer specs a staple right here. And I can just imagine that you don't get the same fastening quality from a staple, or satisfaction, mind you, when you're just going through and stapling. But I guess if you have no attachment to the structure, who cares? But it's pretty cool to see the panels kind of like off of each other's axis. And when you suck it tight, everything comes flush. Ready to go up?
Okay. Trying to see if I can get some stuff from inside the house here.
try to put this other board up, but I may need to have you move me forward.
Okay, just let me know.
Yeah, I dropped a drill bit, so I'll have you pick that up eventually.
Okay.
How's it going in there?
I'm not getting as much done as I think just because I'm like moving every 2 seconds, but I think it's just about little bits, right?
Well, we're doubling productivity minus all the running back and forth.
So feel free to toss it down.
Yep. Hopefully it won't break.
Hopefully. Boom. Huh. Well, that didn't work. This whole thing is garbage. It broke on the way down. So a lot of these header panels on the inside don't have any screws on them because we were actually sliding them into place. So if there are any screws on the interior, it wasn't gonna fit. So we had to back them all out. So I'm just marking these now. We can go back with the collated screw gun and knock this out really easily. We're not worried about the inside right now. We don't need equipment to do the inside. So as tempting as it is to button everything up in here, spray paint for now. Huh, forgot to offer Jesse root beer. That looks so good.
Yeah. Nice. Homemade, eh?
Should take a sip. Is it leaking?
I hope not. Bam.
Can I try a sip?
Sure.
Oh, I just want to try a sip. Does it taste fermented at all? I definitely smell the molasses.
Not fermented, but the molasses is like on its game.
That's pretty good.
Pretty good.
It's not A&W root beer.
No, it's not what we're trying for.
What is that? I mean, it's just...
It's Alyssa root beer. Recipe number 10492.
Still in progress, not ready to share.
I think it's good.
Trade you.
Okay, here you go.
Do you have a measurement yet?
4 feet, 7 inches.
4 feet, 7 inches.
Not any longer.
So I just tried to toss Jesse some spray paint, and because I suck at throwing things and I didn't catch it on the way down, this is what happened. Total spray paint massacre. You better run when that hits the ground.
I wish I had a camera.
I wish that was rolling.
It hit perfectly and it started spinning and you're like,
I was running. I don't think it got me.
I don't think it got you.
Is it still good?
The damn it, no.
No, it's ruined.
There's no pressure in it now.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah.
That's why I don't throw things.
Right?
So now we're SOL because we don't have more, right? Or do we?
Yellow.
The yellow sucks.
That does.
How about I toss it to you?
Right? Wait, no, there's some pink. The other kind in the garage. There's pink.
Here you go.
Oh, that's so safe.
Yep.
I was kind of hoping you'd get it on camera the next time.
No, I learned my lesson. So you ready for the corner now, which means we need to reposition you?
Yeah, if you can get me going that way, it'd be perfect. Looking good.
Bugaboo has something in his mouth. Look at him.
Oh, that's good.
Look, he's going.
Where are you taking that there, sweetheart? What the heck is that?
Yep, that's what you did. You did it. You can take the cat out of the wild, but you can't take the wild out of the cat. Alright, Bugaboo. Guess we'll deal with that later.
Alright, hopefully this time it'll go smoother than it did the other day. Got a pretty good system. Basically the problem is that this panel is only fastened at the rafter, so its own weight is causing it to tip, and when we lifted it with the crane, we didn't have a really great grabbing point because we needed to be able to remove the bolts that we used to the lifting eye bolts. And so we couldn't lift in the center of gravity of the panel where we wanted to lift. To get the angle, we had to lift up here so that we could get the bolt out from the inside, which created the panel tilting. What a mess, right? So now we're dealing with it. So let's see if our system from the other end will work just as good. So I found on the other end, when I tried to do this, I screwed through the ratchet strap itself, and of course I just ripped it. But I found that if I attach through the webbing, seems like it works pretty dang good. It's looking better, nice and tight, nice and tight. Kind of worried it's not enough though. Sucks. Wow. I'm ready to go up when you have just a moment. Never will understand why this gun does that. Well, that's pretty good progress for today, I think. So tomorrow, what we need to do is get another strap, 2 straps actually, right where these panels all come together, and tighten up this seam. This seam needs to be super duper tight. And then we can actually go along here and put the spline screws in to hold this panel to this panel all the way across. So we're just slowly strengthening the eave here. We got this guy in. We'll button those 2 together, and then of course we're going to add furring and oh, actually, while we're doing all that, we need to put in 15-inch lags and take those guys out one at a time, and that'll help strengthen this again. And then once that's all done, now we can start putting toe boards on, and away we go up the roof. Look at these beautiful brackets. Didn't they turn out good? Look at that. We got a little gap in here, deliberate, so that we can put some sort of decorative soffit, decorative cladding. I don't even know what it's called. Let's call it cladding underneath the eave there and to beautify it. So boy, won't that be a great problem to have.
I'm tired.
Just now
I feel
hit
like
you?
we didn't do anything.
Really?
Kinda. Mentally.
I feel like we got a
I
lot
think we had
done.
so much work and we got like this much done.
Yeah.
But it's a pretty good day.
Well, we're kind of doing like the building blocks things, like, you know, right? We did the hardest corner first. We kind of figuring things out. That went like stupid easy,
Yeah, it did.
like way too easy.
Yeah.
We'll start making some productivity here pretty quick. Tomorrow morning, I think tomorrow's going to go slow because we've got to plumb the north gable and also the south entire wall.
Yeah, that could be a day.
It'll be all day. Yeah. And then we need to get this eave over here strengthened and reinforced and screwed and plumbed and all that stuff. And then once it's good, then we can start kind of divide and conquer, mow better.
Oh, it's pretty good. Can I get the last two? Pretty good.
Nice.
That's it. I mean, there's more up there, but that's kind of another project.
Yeah. Good job.
Need to stretch the arm tonight. It's so tiring.
Did you want to get a stair climber for our future workout room, or you just want to work on a ladder?
No. There's a million other things I'd rather do for exercise.
Figured.
Yes.
Woohoo.
High five.
We'll get all these screws put in one way or the other. Actually, that looks really good.
Doesn't it?
Good job.
I'd say we have about, well, we probably don't. We might have half the house screwed down.
Oh yeah, the inside's pretty good.
Well, the inside's good, yeah.
Yep.
don't
Just
know.
need to work on the outside a little bit.
We're getting there.
Well, once we get everything plumbed, it'll go really fast.
I agree.
But plumbing will take a while.
I think this phase we played up really big in our minds, and I feel like a lot of the tasks are actually quite small. It's just work, just
Sure.
one foot in front of the other.
Yeah, and the ladder always goes slow, so. But thankfully we'll be limited to the north wall and the
Well,
ladder.
it's really not bad if once you're up there.
Sure. Yeah, we reach pretty far. This is a new thing called ladder yoga, where you decompress the spine after
Oh, so good.
climbing a ladder.
Oh my god, I just got the craziest pop in my upper
Oh
back.
yeah. Well, I think we should just leave everything right where it is, because after breakfast tomorrow,
Back at it, I agree.
more of the same.
Yep,
We are slowly working through our lumber. It looks like we've gone through about a third of it.
that's pretty good.
Not bad. In case you guys are wondering, $25, $25, $25, $25. That's $100 right there. Wow. We talked about buying logs and making them ourselves, but not right now. More importantly, what are we doing for dinner? I say,
Hamburger
really?
with barbecue sauce and green beans and mushrooms.
Wow.
What were you thinking?
I don't know, but it rhymes with schmizza. I'm on a good streak this week. I celebrated my pilot's license with
Great.
pizza, and I had pizza with Anna the night. That's how come I flew so good.
Oh.
I had pizza the night before.
Huh.
It makes sense. So before every long cross-country flight,
Yep.
I should eat pizza, and it'll all work out. Makes sense now.